everyone, my name is Shelby. I go by Stitches by Shelby here on YouTube and also over on Instagram, and thank you for joining me for Flosstube number 36. If you're new here, Flosstube is the little corner of YouTube where we talk mostly about cross stitch. I share other crafts as well, but usually it's mostly cross stitch. This is a cross stitch heavier episode than last time. I do have a couple of other crafts to show, but I promise there'll be lots of good cross stitch content, and I'll give you plenty of warning before I get into the other crafts. So if you want to move on to the next Flosstube video, that is completely fine. Before I forget to say it, if you want to see more content from me, you could subscribe, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And I always ask you to comment what project you were working on while you watch my video. I love seeing what everybody is working on or hearing about what you were doing. So don't forget to leave that comment down below as well. All right, so now we can get into the cross stitch. I have everything to show you today. I had FFOs, I had a finish, I had a new start, I have whips. I was very productive these last couple of weeks. So let's start with the FFOs. That stands for fully finished object. That's when you finish stitching a project and then you fully finish it into something. In this case, both of my fully finishes are framed items. So back in the spring and summer, my birthday was in April and I did a week of birthday starts, and during that week I started these little mini full coverage pieces, and I finished them I think sometime over the summer, and this past weekend I was struck by the inspiration to frame them. So I took advantage of Michael's Black Friday sale. They had these 2 for $7, or the mini frames 2 for $7 or something like that, and I got both of these frames. So I'll show them to you one at a time. This one is called, the cross stitch piece is called Skull with a Burning Cigarette. It's based on a painting by Vincent van Gogh, but the pattern is by the Stitch Patterns, and they have a bunch of mini full coverage cross stitch pieces based on famous artwork. So I put that one in a little gold frame. These are stitched on 18 count oatmeal Aida, or maybe it's Fiddler's Cloth Aida. It's a very oatmeal-y kind. I think I got it just at Joann's, so it's whatever they have there. But it's an 18 count, and it fits very nicely in this little frame. And this one did come with a little mat, so I kept that since the piece was small enough. And that's what it looks like. So someday I'd love to have on one of these shelves back here a whole bunch of like a whole little gallery of mini cross stitches. My second one is La Scapigliata the painting is by Leonardo da Vinci. This one is by Cross Stitch Obsession. The charting is by Cross Stitch Obsession. Stitched on the same fabric as the last one. So 18 count Fiddler's Cloth Aida, which is like an oatmeal kind of Aida, and all the called for DMC, and another one of these little mini frames. And I think these just look so amazing. Honestly, I can't believe the detail that you can get in just this little tiny bit of space. That is astounding to me. It actually looks like the paintings, and it doesn't look, when you get up close, it looks kind of pixelated, but from far back, they're very recognizable. So I'm super excited to have both of these done, and I don't know, it makes me want to start a whole bunch more. I also had a knitting finish in the past couple of weeks. I finished my Easy Eyelet sweater scarf. The pattern is by Knititude, but this is sold exclusively as a kit from We Are Knitters. It is knit in their Mary Paca yarn, and I just got the gray color. And I will take you back a little bit so you can see the whole thing. All right, so you can kind of see what it looks like here. That's what the back looks like. I really like this. I think it turned out super nice. It is very, very warm, so I will be taking it off after this, but I think it turned out really cute. I talked about this at the beginning of the project. I had some issues with gauge on this project, where I was trying to get gauge according to the pattern, but then when I started knitting the pattern with the needles that I needed to meet gauge, it just was turning out huge. So I ended up knitting it with the called for needles, and I think I could have even gone down a size because it turned out a little bit longer than it was supposed to, and even the sleeves, which I was really worried about fitting, they could have been a little bit snugger and they might have fit a little bit better, but as it is totally wearable. I wore it to work last week and I got lots of compliments on it. It is very warm, and I think it's really a nice way to dress up a dress or something. So this is the Easy Eyelet sweater scarf by We Are Knitters. Knititude does have several other sweater scarves if you didn't want to get the kit from We Are Knitters. and they are also beautiful. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this off now because I'm getting a little toasty, and then we will continue with the cross stitch. So those were my finishes. Oh, I also have to show off before I forget, my earrings today are little Santa frogs. These are by Pages Unlimited on Etsy. I showed some of her Halloween earrings last couple videos ago maybe, or maybe just last video, but I think they're so cute. And I only ordered the one pair, but I did actually end up getting a second pair, so I will show you those when those come as well. But I thought these were so cute for Christmas, and I couldn't resist. All right, now I can show you my cross stitch finish. Misfit Stitches and I are doing a stitch along for the Just Nan Christmas mice. And I think 2 videos ago, I showed my finish of one of the Halloween Just Nan mice. So basically, it's a stitched piece. You do like a berry style finish, and you turn it into a little, like, I've been using mine as ornaments, but I guess you could set them like on a mantle as well if you wanted to. But we are using the hashtag Naughty or Mice Sal. So if you would like to stitch one of these, if you have these, please join in. We would love to see your mice finishes. I will be filming a finishing tutorial. I'm not an expert. I've only finished one, but I think sometimes having like the visual is helpful, and I couldn't really find the type of tutorial that I was looking for when I was finishing my last one. So that is something to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. But if you have any of these mice, we would love it if you joined in. And I finished the stitching on my first one. So this is the Gingerbread Reindeer mouse. And this is the one that Allie and I are both stitching right now, Allie from Misfit Stitches. And I finished the stitching. I did not stitch this in a day, but if you had like a long day of stitching, you could easily stitch one of these in a day. They are very small, they're very quick finishes. This one actually had a specialty stitch in it. It had like a eyelet of some kind. So not hard to do, but just hard to count. But I'm really happy with how the stitching turned out. It does also have beads. I stitched this almost entirely as called for. The only substitution I made was it calls for like a gold krynic, and I did not have a gold krynic, but I did have a gold DMC metallic, which is horrible to work with, but it's what I had, so I used it. And honestly, in small amounts, if you only use one strand, it's manageable. It's not fun, but it's doable. So there is the stitching, and I did the back stitch. Make sure if you end up making one of these, when you do the back stitch, that you do every hole or every other hole. I did every hole on this one when possible, but I actually think that every other hole might be better. But you use those to help with the finishing. You use those stitches, so make sure that you do them. You do them, and you don't do them like really huge so they're really stretched out. But yeah, I stitched this on the called for fabric, which is 32 count gingerbread by Picture This Plus, and he is ready to be finished. I added his little antlers already. They're a little bit 3D. So the hashtag is Naughty or Mice SAL. SAL stands for Stitch Along. And yeah, please feel free to join in and tag me if you've already made them or whatever. I'd love to see your finishes. All right, so next is my cross stitch new start. I started Under the Mistletoe by Stitch with Coffee, putting a cover image right there. This one was also heavily enabled by Allie from Misfit Stitches. She stitched the Trick or Treat Halloween cat pattern from Stitch with Coffee too, and I really wanted to join in for that one, but I have plenty of Halloween projects. I did not need to start too many more new ones, but I don't have any Christmas projects, so I was forced against my will to do this. I've definitely been feeling the holiday season lately, and so here's where I am. Yeah. So I stitched this on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana, and I'm using all of the called for DMC. And actually the white stitching is showing up really well on camera. There's a little bit of a close-up. So I'm not quite halfway done. This arch happens on the other side too, and then there's like some presents and stuff at the bottom, and then the cats are in the middle. So I think I might save the cats for last because they're obviously the best part. So this is Under the Mistletoe by Stitch with Coffee. Speaking of cats, I wanted to give you all an update on Apricot. In my last video, I had talked about how he was not doing very well. So basically, he's had a few chronic issues. He's had some thyroid problems for a while that have up to this point been very well managed with medication. And we also found out over the summer that he has kidney disease, which stinks. But we have tried out some new medications. We've been doing subcutaneous fluids daily, which is kind of a pain, but he seems to be feeling so much better. We had a vet appointment, not this past Thursday, because that was Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the United States if you celebrated. But the Thursday before that, we had a vet appointment, and he had already gained over a pound in like 2 weeks. And he seems to be feeling a lot better. He's eating better. He seems more energetic. He's not here right now. We have, he's sleeping on my couch, but if he visits us later, I will show him to you. But I just wanted to give you an all update. Thank you to everyone who reached out and asked how he was doing and left comments about him. He is my soul cat, and yeah, I'm not ready for him to leave yet. So I'm very happy to say that he is doing so much better. So thank you for all your well wishes. Keep sending them our way because things can change kind of quickly with him. But yeah, he seems to be doing so much better. All right, now we can move into cross stitch whips. Whips are works in progress. First up, I have Mini Contessa with Squid by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'll put in the cover image right there. This artwork is originally by Omar Rayan, but it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am doing the mini version. I am stitching it on 28 count Ivory Lugana, 2/1 half stitch, and I'm using all the called for DMC. And here's where I'm at. I only got a couple hundred stitches in the past couple of weeks. I am really trying to get back into the swing of working on this at least a couple of times a week, because it is just, it's never gonna get done if I don't work on it. And I love her, and I want her to be finished. So I've just been working on this third page down here. And when I was working on it, I was filling in like some of the, now I'm at the point where there's a bunch of like 10 stitches on this page, and they're all over the place. So I'm working on filling in some of those. But that's where it's at. Gosh, it looks so good. I'm so excited to have this finished, even though I'm like less than a third done. My original goal was to finish this page, and then there's like a shorty page below it. I don't know if that's gonna happen this year, but I do wanna make it a point to keep working on it, because I love her. I love her. I literally dream about her. So she needs to be up on my wall someday. And my needle minder is from House of Mang. They're on Facebook. I always link them in my descriptions, so if you want to go check them out, you can check them out there. And then one more cross stitch project. I have the Supernatural Stitch Along by the Witchy Stitcher. This is now finished. I'll put in a cover image right there. I am not quite finished yet. I think in December my plans are gonna be, I have a couple of stitch alongs that I am either very behind on. Actually, they're all finished except for the temperature one. I'm like 4 or 5 weeks behind on my temperature stitch along. I haven't finished the Supernatural stitch along. I didn't finish my other year-long stitch along that finished up in September. So December is gonna be a month for finishing things. But here is where I am at. Let's see, can we get it all in? Oh, we sure can. I am stitching this on 36 count Bronze Age by Bestitch Me. I'm using all of the called for colors. If I've made any substitutions, I've talked about those in the past. The last one I think I worked on was I finished up the Ogre. He's right there. And I know Ghosts are the last one, and then there's a Unicorn, and I think a Demon is the other one. So I'm really excited to stitch those. They look really cool, but I just gotta get to it. And then I get to order a frame, and I get to have it match with cryptids. So I'm really excited to finish this. But basically this was the only thing I worked on for several weeks, and I got kind of burned out on it. So I'm taking a little break, but I'll come back to it. So cute. My favorite one so far, I think, is the Changeling. I really love the Changeling. I like the Angel a lot too. The Witchy Stitcher also came out with these little woodcut kits last week, I think, last week Friday, and I tried so hard to get one. So they're like perforated wood in the shape of the different cryptids and supernatural creatures. There's one for all of them, but the ones that I wanted sold out pretty quickly, so I wasn't able to get one. But she said she's gonna bring them back, so I'm just really hoping I can get them in the next time, but they look really cute. So that's it for cross stitch. I do have a couple of other crafts that I'll show really quickly if you'd like to stick around, but if not, feel free to move on to the next Flosstube video, and don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment what you were working on while you were watching. First, I'm gonna show you my new cast on since I finished my Easy Eyelet sweater scarf. I decided to cast on the Into the Woods sweater by Melody Hoffman. I'll put in a picture of what the finished object will look like. And here is where I am at. Ooh, let me scooch back a little bit. Just ran into my Christmas tree. Here's what it looks like. So I started this last week, Saturday, like as soon as the yarn came. I immediately swatched it and started it. And I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I am stitching this all in Knit Picks yarn, so I'm using Knit Picks Swish. That's their worsted weight 100% superwash merino wool. So it is very cushy and soft, and I'm using the colors, oh boy, I think Nutmeg and Dublin. I know for sure that the green is Dublin. I think this one might be called, the cream might be called Nutmeg. I'll put the colors in the description box, so if you wanted to know the real answer, you can put it there. But I am really happy with how this is turning out. So I've knit the whole yoke, and it has this color work with these little trees, and there's my floats on the inside. They look so cool. This is my first big color work object. I knit a color work hat a couple of years ago, maybe 2019, and it looks beautiful, but it doesn't fit me. So at some point I'll unravel it and try again. I made my floats too tight, but this time I've been very good about catching my floats and making sure that they are nice and loose so that the sweater stretches. So I finished the yoke and I separated out for the sleeves, and now I'm working on the body. So I just got a lot of straight knitting to do now, but I would really, really like to be able to wear this Christmas morning. That's my goal. So I've been pretty much exclusively working on this. Like, I have thrown in a few stitches on my cross stitch projects, but really this is where a lot of my work has been going to. But I just think it's really cute. I'm super excited to have it done. It's like a crop sweater, so I think it'll look really great with dresses and skirts. I wear a lot of those, and I just can't wait to have this finished. So that's the Into the Woods sweater by Melody Hoffman. And then last, and I guess I should say but not least, but actually kind of least, I have a couple of crochet projects. So last time I showed you that I was working on the Owl by Little Owlet. I'll put in a cover picture right there. I'm just using unknown branded acrylic yarn. It's very old. It's a hand-me-down. So I did finish up the body, and I knit one of the wings, or I crocheted one of the wings, but my crochet bug has kind of died, so these might be going away for a little while. And then I also started, there was a crochet along happening on Instagram that I thought very ambitiously I was gonna like totally keep up and crochet all the things, and absolutely I cannot do that. But there was one in particular that I really wanted to work on, that I really wanted to make. So it is the Gingerbread Bear by Straw Animals, and I'll put in a cover image of what that'll look like. And even this one, you have to crochet the first part in like 3 days in order to get the second part, and I did not meet that goal, so I just ended up purchasing the pattern anyways, so this was all kind of pointless. But there's my little bear butt. I'll finish him eventually too. This is I think this is the Michaels brand acrylic yarn, like Craft Smart, and this is Wool Ease and Forest Heather for the pants. So yeah, those are my crochet projects. Yeah, I haven't been feeling the crochet bug as much lately, so I don't think those will come back very soon, but that's what I worked on the last couple of weeks. So thank you so much for watching and sticking around. I hope this video wasn't too much of a mess. I feel like I was a little bit rambly, but that's okay. So if you made it this far, thumbs up to you. And I am thinking about doing Stitchmas. So Stitchmas is kind of like the Flosstuber version of Vlogmas. A couple of people did it last year. I know Elizabeth Ann Ginstitch is like, she's the big name that kind of started it, where she did a bunch of extra videos. I'm thinking about doing some extra videos in the month of December, so don't hold me to it, but I have a couple of ideas that I think would be kind of fun, so we'll see if I get time to do that. But hopefully I'll see you sooner rather than later, and have a great couple of weeks, and enjoy your stitching. Bye!